Hi everyone. Welcome to English Story School. Have you ever felt stuck, like you're in a place where everything feels comfortable, but deep down, you know you're not growing? Chapter 1. The Hook, Breaking the Barrier of Comfort. Comfort. It's a word we all crave. The warm, inviting bed on a cold winter morning. The routine that feels safe. The predictable life that offers little in the way of surprise. It's easy to find comfort in the familiar. But what if I told you that the comfort zone you cling to is your greatest enemy? What if the one thing you hold closest is the very thing that keeps you from growing, evolving, and becoming the person you were truly meant to be? You see, comfort is a cage. A beautiful, cozy cage that you lock yourself in every single day without even realizing it. And outside that cage, that's where life happens. That's where dreams are realized, challenges are faced, and the kind of transformation that leaves you breathless takes place. Today, we're going to talk about killing comfort, how to break free from that cage, how to embrace discomfort, and how to evolve into someone capable of not just surviving, but conquering life. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Let's sit with that thought for a moment. Comfort is not your ally. It's a sedative that dulls your senses, suppresses your potential, and tricks you into thinking that where you are right now is enough. Every time you choose comfort, you're trading your future potential for the fleeting satisfaction of today. Sure, it feels nice in a moment, but what does it cost you in the long run? Imagine being a seed planted in fertile soil. The seed can remain comfortably within the soil, soaking in just enough nourishment to survive. But survival is not the goal of the seed. Its destiny is to grow, to break free of the soil, to reach for the sun and become something greater. Yet, it has to fight its way through the soil, to face resistance, to push against the very thing that keeps it safe. It is only by breaking free from the soil that the seed becomes a mighty tree, capable of reaching heights it could have never imagined while comfortably buried beneath the earth. Now, think about yourself. Are you the seed, playing it safe, avoiding the struggles that will help you grow? Or are you ready to break free, to leave behind your comfort zone and push yourself into the discomfort of growth, change, and evolution? Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Neil Donald Walsh. There is no growth without discomfort. Think about every great achievement, every triumph, every person you admire. None of them arrive there without first stepping into the unknown, without risking something, without embracing discomfort. Do you think that the greatest minds, athletes, or entrepreneurs stayed within their comfort zones? Do you think they avoided challenges to maintain a sense of security? Absolutely not. They embraced the discomfort, the uncertainty, and the fear. And that's why they grew. That's why they succeeded. Take the example of Sarah, a woman who once led a simple life. She worked in a small office, had a predictable routine, and felt secure in her everyday existence. Yet, there was something missing, a longing, a deep desire for something more. One evening, as she sat at her desk, looking out the window at the city skyline, she had a realization. If I stay here, if I continue playing it safe, I will never grow. My dreams will stay just that, dreams. I have to step out of my comfort zone if I want to evolve. The next morning, she walked into her boss's office and handed in her resignation letter. Everyone thought she was crazy. Why would she leave a stable job with a comfortable salary to chase an uncertain dream? But Sarah didn't care about comfort anymore. She cared about her potential. She cared about evolving into someone who could look back on her life and say, I lived. I pushed myself. I became the best version of me. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. Molière. Sarah's journey was not easy. She faced countless challenges, moments of doubt, and waves of fear that almost drove her back to the comfort of her old life. But every time she thought about quitting, she remembered why she had stepped out of her comfort zone in the first place. The promise of who she could become if she refused to give in to fear. The promise of growth, success, and ultimately, the freedom that only comes from conquering your own limitations. As Sarah's journey unfolded, she began to learn the value of failure. At first, every setback felt like a massive defeat. But she soon realized that failure wasn't something to be afraid of. It was a powerful tool for growth. Each failure showed her something new about herself, about what she was capable of. Each failure pushed her further along the path of self-discovery and personal evolution. Sarah's transformation didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual process, a long road filled with uncertainty and discomfort. But each step she took outside her comfort zone made her stronger, more resilient, and more aware of her own power. And today, Sarah is living the life she once only dreamed about, living proof that growth happens outside the comfort zone. This is the kind of evolution we all have the potential to experience. But we have to be willing to kill comfort. We have to be willing to step into the unknown, to risk failure, to experience the discomfort that comes with growth. The choice is yours. You can stay where you are, in the safe, familiar place you've created for yourself. Or you can break free. You can kill your comfort and embrace the discomfort of change, of growth, of becoming something greater. You can evolve into a person who conquers their fears, their limitations, and ultimately, the world. Comfort zones are where dreams go to die. So, I challenge you today. Step outside your comfort zone. Kill it. Destroy it. Walk away from everything that holds you back, because on the other side of that comfort zone lies the version of yourself that you've always wanted to be. The version of yourself that will conquer, that will grow, and that will evolve. Buckle up, my friend, because the journey won't be easy, but I promise you, it will be worth it. Stay with me as we continue this journey of killing comfort, evolving, growing, and conquering. Chapter 2. The first step, killing comfort. The first step in evolving is recognizing the need to kill comfort. It's not about throwing your life into chaos or doing something reckless. No, it's about understanding when your comfort zone has gone from a sanctuary to a trap. When you realize that your routine, your stability, and your predictability are no longer serving your growth, but rather stunting it. It's time to face the truth. Comfort doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you stuck, and you have to be willing to face that uncomfortable truth if you want to break free and evolve. Let me take you into the life of Alex, a man who had everything anyone could think of. He had a steady job, a comfortable routine, and a life many would consider ideal. From the outside, he had it all. Financial security, a predictable 9 to 5, weekends to relax, and a safe, stable environment. But on the inside, Alex felt something missing, something he couldn't shake. It was this gnawing sense of restlessness. There was this constant feeling of being unfulfilled, as if life was passing him by while he was stuck in neutral. One evening, after another long, monotonous day at the office, Alex sat at his desk, staring blankly at the computer screen. His mind raced, his heart longed for something more. And then, like a bolt of lightning, a thought struck him. What if I was meant for more? What if everything I've been doing is a distraction for what I'm truly capable of? What if this safe, predictable life is keeping me from my true potential? In that moment, Alex realized the most frightening truth of all. His comfort zone was killing his dreams. His career, his lifestyle, the routine he had built. While it felt safe, it was also suffocating him. It was holding him back from the greatness he knew he was capable of. Growth only happens when you challenge yourself beyond your limits. It wasn't an easy realization. In fact, it was terrifying. But Alex knew that if he stayed where he was, if he continued playing it safe, he would never grow, never evolve. So, in that instant, he made a bold decision. He walked into his boss's office the very next day and handed in his resignation letter. It was a moment that shocked everyone around him. His colleagues thought he was out of his mind. Why would he leave a stable job in the prime of his life to chase something uncertain? Why give up a life of comfort for the unknown? But Alex didn't care about the opinions of others anymore. He didn't care about the security that comfort promised. What mattered to him was his future, his potential, and the evolution he knew he could achieve. In that bold moment, Alex understood one thing. To move forward, he had to kill his comfort. He had to step into uncertainty. The truth was, Alex's decision was the hardest thing he had ever done. There were sleepless nights, constant doubts, and moments when he was paralyzed by fear. He wasn't sure what would happen next. The safety net was gone. The familiar routine was gone. He was out there, alone, with nothing but his dreams and determination to guide him. But here's what Alex didn't expect. The discomfort became his fuel. Every sleepless night, every ounce of doubt, every struggle became a motivator, a push to keep going. The challenges he faced were no longer obstacles, but signs that he was growing. Every time he faced failure, it wasn't a setback, it was a lesson. Every time he wanted to give up, it was a sign that he was almost there, right on the edge of a breakthrough. And here's the key to this entire process. Growth doesn't happen when everything is easy. It happens when you challenge yourself beyond your limits, when you push past the boundaries you've created for yourself, and when you take risks that others would never dare. Alex's journey was never a straight path. It was messy, chaotic, and filled with moments where he questioned everything. But that's where the magic happened. The discomfort he had once feared became the very thing that sparked his evolution. The fear he had once tried to avoid became his greatest ally. He learned that the hardest moments in life are often the most transformative. The moments that make you feel the most vulnerable, the most uncertain, are the ones that shape you into the person you were meant to be. As Alex began to take more risks, he discovered that the more uncomfortable he made himself, the more he grew. And with each step, his confidence grew too. What was once terrifying now became a challenge he welcomed. He began to see the world differently, understanding that the only way to move forward was to continue pushing forward, no matter how hard it got. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Neil Donald Walsh. And that's the truth we need to accept. It's only when we leave behind our comfort zones that we can evolve, grow, and conquer. But this doesn't mean diving headfirst into chaos. It means making deliberate decisions, stepping out of the known, and embracing discomfort in small, manageable doses. It means recognizing that comfort isn't the goal. Evolution is. Take risks. Push yourself. Challenge your routine. Kill the things that are holding you back from being who you truly are and who you can truly become. If Alex had stayed in his comfortable, predictable life, he would have never known his true potential. He would have never discovered the power within him to create, to lead, to achieve. You will never know your limits until you push yourself to them. Roy T. Bennett. The first step in killing comfort is understanding that it's not your friend. It's a mask for fear. It's a way of hiding from your own power. The moment you stop seeking comfort and start seeking growth is the moment everything changes. So what will it be? Will you stay in your safe, predictable life? Or will you have the courage to step outside of it and discover what you're really capable of? Because if you don't, the best version of yourself will never exist. Only when you kill comfort, when you embrace the discomfort, will you begin to transform. This is where it starts. This is where the journey begins. Challenge yourself. Kill your comfort. Step into the unknown. And let the evolution begin. Chapter 3. The second step. evolving through adversity. Once you've killed comfort, the next step is to evolve. But evolution isn't always smooth, and it doesn't always come from positive experiences. In fact, it's often born out of adversity, the tough moments in life that challenge us, stretch us, and push us beyond what we thought was possible. Adversity is the soil in which true growth is planted, and how you respond to it determines whether you'll simply survive or truly evolve. Let me tell you the story of someone who truly understood this concept, someone who took adversity and turned it into an opportunity for evolution. Her name is Maya. Maya was the epitome of success. She was a professional athlete at the peak of her career, winning medals, receiving accolades, and enjoying a life that many could only dream of. She was celebrated, admired, and in the public eye as a symbol of excellence in her sport. Life seemed perfect, but then, in a moment, everything changed. One day, while training for an important competition, Maya suffered a devastating injury. It wasn't just a sprain or a minor setback. No, this was a career-ending injury, one that threatened to take everything from her. The doctors were clear: your career is over. You'll never compete again. Those words felt like a death sentence to Maya. The very thing that had defined her, that had given her purpose and meaning, was now gone. She was at a crossroads. She could have accepted the doctor's verdict, let the injury define her future, and fade into a life of what-ifs and regrets. But that's not what Maya did. Instead of accepting defeat, she made a choice that would forever change the course of her life. Maya refused to let the injury dictate her future. Instead of mourning the loss of her athletic career, she used this adversity to evolve. She didn't just focus on rehab. She reinvented herself. Maya shifted from being an athlete to a coach. She took everything she had learned during her years of training, the lessons, the techniques, the discipline, and channeled it into helping others. She became a mentor to younger athletes, using her knowledge and experience to shape their futures. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. Molière. This was no ordinary comeback. Maya wasn't just overcoming an injury. She was evolving into a better version of herself. She wasn't just the athlete anymore. She was now a leader, a teacher, someone who could inspire others and help them achieve their own greatness. What she had once defined herself by, the medals, the victories, the recognition, was no longer her identity. She was something more. Her identity was now forged in resilience, adaptability, and the ability to find strength in the face of hardship. The truth is, evolution through adversity doesn't always look like success at first. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, but it is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful forces of change. In every setback, there's an opportunity to grow. In every failure, there's a lesson. And in every hardship, there's a chance to become something greater. When we face adversity, we have two choices. We can let it break us, or we can choose to let it build us. The decision is always ours. Maya's injury could have broken her, but instead, it built a new version of her. It challenged her to redefine who she was, to transform her pain into purpose, and to create a new life from the ashes of what she had lost. It's the same with you. When life knocks you down, don't just get back up. Evolve. When you lose something important, don't simply try to replace it. Reinvent yourself. Take that adversity and use it as the foundation for your next level of growth. The challenge is not the obstacle itself, but how you choose to respond to it. You might be going through your own adversity right now. Maybe it's a failure at work, a broken relationship, or a personal setback that feels impossible to overcome. But I want you to think about this. What if this is the very thing that will push you to evolve? What if, just like Maya, you could use this moment to reshape your future, to redefine your path, and to become something even greater than you ever imagined? Believe me, it's in these hardest moments that the seeds of growth are planted. The pain you feel today could be the very thing that leads to your greatest success. The fear you face in the face of adversity is not something to avoid, but something to embrace. It is the catalyst for change. The struggle is the fuel for evolution. There's a quote by Winston Churchill that says, "If you're going through hell, keep going." And that's the truth. Adversity isn't meant to stop you. It's meant to propel you forward. It's meant to make you stronger, wiser, more capable. When you face adversity, you have a choice: to stay stuck, to retreat back into comfort, or to push through, to face the challenge head on, and to come out on the other side stronger than you were before. Take Maya's story as a reminder. The true test of your character isn't how you handle success, but how you handle failure. How you respond to adversity determines how much you will evolve. It is not the easy moments that define us, but the difficult ones. It's not the wins, but the losses. The way you respond to your hardest moments is what shapes your destiny. So, the next time you face adversity, don't just survive it. Evolve through it. Use it as an opportunity to grow. Reinvent yourself. And when you look back, you'll realize that the hardest moments of your life were the ones that set you on the path to your greatest success. Adversity causes some men to break, others to break records. William Arthur Ward: embrace the adversity, kill your comfort, evolve, and transform your pain into purpose. Because the power to shape your future lies within how you face the hardest moments of your life. Chapter 4. The third step, growing beyond your limitations. Now, here's the big one: growth. It's the reason we wake up every day, the reason we push ourselves. We all want to grow, to become better versions of ourselves. But what most people don't realize is that growth doesn't come from playing it safe. It comes from pushing your boundaries, from doing things that scare you, from stepping into the unknown and facing your deepest fears. Growth is not about staying within the lines. It's about coloring outside of them. Let me tell you about someone who faced her greatest fear and, in doing so, unlocked a version of herself she never knew existed. Her name is Jamie. Jamie was a woman of immense potential. She had the skills, the intelligence, and the drive to lead, to inspire others. But there was one thing that held her back: fear. Fear of public speaking. Jamie would rather do anything than speak in front of a crowd. The thought of standing before people and having all eyes on her made her heart race and her palms sweat. She could picture in her mind, her voice trembling, her thoughts scattered, the judgment of others weighing down on her. This fear didn't just paralyze her. It kept her from taking action. It kept her from pursuing opportunities that would allow her to grow, to shine, and to step into her full potential. She was stuck in the shadow of her own limitations, too afraid to take the first step. But then, one day, something changed. It wasn't a grand revelation or an easy choice, but rather a moment of raw courage. Jamie was asked to deliver a speech in front of a group of people. She wanted to back out. She tried to make excuses, but deep down, she knew this was the moment to face her fear head-on. Jamie walked onto the stage, her heart racing. She was shaking. Every part of her body screamed at her to run, to retreat into her comfort zone. But she took a deep breath, and with every ounce of willpower she had, she started speaking. Her voice cracked at first, and her hands trembled, but she kept going. The fear didn't magically disappear, but she refused to let it control her. And by the time she finished her speech, something incredible had happened. The audience was silent for a moment. Then they erupted into applause. They weren't applauding just the content of her speech. They were applauding her courage. They saw her vulnerability, her rawness, her willingness to fight through her limitations. And in that moment, Jamie saw something she'd never seen before. She realized that her limitations were just illusions. They were mental barriers that she had built in her own mind. And with courage, she could tear them down. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Neil Donald Walsh. That moment on stage became her breakthrough. It was the turning point, the defining moment that changed everything for Jamie. It wasn't just about conquering fear. It was about understanding that fear, limitations, and self-doubt were part of the process of growth. They were not the walls that kept her from her dreams. They were the hurdles she had to jump over to get there. From that day forward, Jamie embraced every opportunity to grow. She didn't wait for her fear to disappear. She didn't wait for the perfect moment when everything would be smooth and easy. No, she stepped into the discomfort time and time again, and each time she grew stronger, more confident, more capable. She took every challenge as a chance to push her limits even further. Here's the thing about growth. It's not about what you achieve. It's about who you become in the process. Growth is a journey, not a destination. It's about evolving, changing, and shedding the old versions of yourself that no longer serve you. And it doesn't happen without pushing yourself beyond your limitations. Jamie's growth wasn't just about learning to speak in front of people. It was about learning to confront fear, to challenge the mental barriers that held her back, and to prove to herself that she was capable of far more than she ever believed. She learned that limitations aren't permanent. They're just temporary roadblocks, obstacles that can be overcome with determination, grit, and a willingness to step outside of your comfort zone. Every one of us has limitations, real or imagined, that hold us back. Maybe it's fear of failure. Maybe it's self-doubt. Maybe it's the belief that we're not smart enough, talented enough, or worthy enough to succeed. But let me tell you something. Those limitations are not the end of the road. They're the beginning of the journey. So, don't fear your limitations. Don't let them define you. Use them as fuel for your growth. They're not there to stop you. They're there to challenge you, to push you beyond what you thought was possible. And when you face them head on, you'll realize that your limitations are not nearly as strong as your will to succeed. Jamie's story is proof that growth happens when we stop playing it safe. When we face our fears and challenge ourselves, we expand our horizons. We become the people we were always meant to be. And the best part? Growth never stops. There's always a next level to reach, a new barrier to break, and a new version of yourself to discover. So, the next time you feel fear creeping in, or you start to doubt your abilities, remember Jamie. Remember that growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when you push yourself beyond your limitations and embrace the unknown. It happens when you say, I'm going to step up, even when I'm terrified. Because on the other side of fear, on the other side of your limitations, lies the life you've always wanted. And all it takes is the courage to grow beyond what you thought you could achieve. The only limits in our life are those we impose on ourselves. Bob Proctor. So go ahead, step into the discomfort, break through your limitations, and watch yourself grow in ways you never imagined possible. Your future self is waiting for you on the other side. Chapter 5. The final step, conquering your future. The final step is the most exhilarating. Conquer your future. By now, you've killed your comfort zone. You've evolved through adversity, and you've pushed past every boundary that once held you back. You've grown beyond your limitations, becoming someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever thought possible. And now, the most powerful thing you can do is take everything you've learned and use it to conquer your future. When you've traveled this far on your journey, you're no longer the person you once were. You're no longer bound by fear or self-doubt. You've become someone unstoppable, someone who can take on any challenge, no matter how daunting it may seem. Your dreams, once distant and elusive, are no longer just fantasies. They're within reach. They're waiting for you to step forward and claim them. Take a moment to think about Robert, a man who, like so many others, started with nothing. He didn't have a privileged background, a college degree, or any influential connections. In fact, Robert came from a rough neighborhood, where hope seemed as distant as the stars. But Robert had something that no one could take away from him: an unwavering determination, a burning desire to create something greater than the life he had known. In the early days, Robert faced rejection after rejection. He struggled with every aspect of starting a business. There were days when he wanted to quit, when everything seemed impossible, when failure felt like his only companion. He didn't have the resources that others might have had, but he had one thing: his vision. Every time he faced a setback, Robert didn't back down. He didn't give up. Instead, he found a way to turn each obstacle into an opportunity, each failure into a lesson. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Abraham Lincoln. And you know what? Robert didn't just survive, he thrived. Today, he stands as the CEO of a successful company, a business that was once just an idea in his mind, a dream that seemed too far-fetched to reach. But Robert didn't let that stop him. He didn't let his past or his current situation define his future. He believed in the power of perseverance, in the strength of his will, and in the belief that the future was something he could shape, not something that was simply handed to him. Robert's story is not one of luck. It's not one of privilege. It's a story of someone who refused to accept limitations. He killed his comfort zone. He evolved through adversity. He pushed himself past every barrier. And in the end, he conquered his future. And if Robert can do it, so can you. Now, think about your own life. What's holding you back? What dreams have you pushed aside because you thought they were unattainable? What future have you been waiting for instead of creating it? Here's the truth. You have the power to shape your future. Your future is not a matter of fate. It's a matter of choice. It starts with killing comfort, continues with evolving through adversity, and grows through pushing beyond your limits. But the final step, the one that makes all the difference, is taking action. It's about stepping out of your past, embracing your growth, and claiming the future you've always dreamed of. The future is yours for the taking. It may not be easy, and it certainly won't be without its challenges, but it will be worth every ounce of effort. So stop waiting for things to fall into place. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to start. The future doesn't wait for anyone. It's up to you to step forward, to take control, and to conquer it. Think about where you want to be in 5 years. What does that vision look like? What are you doing? Who are you with? What are you achieving? Now, take a deep breath and realize this. That vision is possible. It's within your grasp. All you need to do is make the decision to go after it. It's time to stop living in the shadow of fear, self-doubt, or complacency. It's time to take the lessons you've learned and use them to fuel your journey. It's time to conquer your future. Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. Robert Kiyosaki. So take the first step, even if it's a small one. Make the decision today to no longer be a passive observer of your life. Take control. Create the future you want. And remember, you're unstoppable. You have the power to shape your destiny. Don't ever forget that. So, there you have it. Kill comfort, evolve through adversity, grow beyond your limitations, and conquer your future. It's a journey, not an easy one, but it's worth every sacrifice, every step, every moment of discomfort. The question now is, are you ready to take the leap? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.